As we close out our latest episode with the incredible Gillian Ashcroft, I'm thrilled to announce something special for the next 2 weeks, our Back to the Future series. Since launching in April 2024, Leading Our Own Way has been home to some unforgettable stories, and now we're rewinding to share hidden gems from the past 20 months. These episodes are packed with wisdom to carry you through the holidays and into the new year. Like I mentioned, they're hidden gems, stories of resilience and transformation. And to kick things off on Monday, January 5th, here in Australia, or on Sunday, if you're in the UK, we're bringing you my inspiring conversation, amazing chat with Beck Christian, all the way from the Cotswolds in England. She's actually from where I'm from, believe it or not, but we didn't even know each other. She is the founder of the Limiters Academy. Her story is all about breaking through limits and leading with purpose. As a massive Back to the Future fan, it just felt right. A chance to reflect, recharge, and keep leading our own way into the future. Let's start strong and make sure we don't drop off just after a few weeks and stay strong together. Let's go. How was Josh feeling that night?
Yeah, look, I think he was pretty anxious. It's a really weird setup, and obviously what the viewers don't see is there's probably 12 cameramen running around, and before each player's name gets called out, and obviously there's 5 minutes on the clock, they'll have a bunch of cameras around your table for that 3 minutes. Some will come and go. So Josh was sort of projected. We were thinking, late, maybe 9 or 10. And after when number 5 pick was called, that was Jalen Suggs. Most of the cameras were at his table, but we were the next table. And they had 2 cameras lurking around us table, and they just do that in case maybe they're wrong with their next pick. But generally, it's fed out a minute before it's announced. They've got to have a sizing for the hat, so the players they've got fitted every hat. So once they know who's going to get drafted, who's drafted this guy, they better get him out the right size hat in that club's colours. So come number 6 pick, and there's the clock's winding down for 5 minutes, and at about the 4 minute mark, a couple of cameramen were loitering around, and sort of another couple, we had probably maybe 4 or 5, and other cameramen would come and they'd talk to them and they'd shoo them off to another table. And they were playing a bit of ducks and drapes, I think, and trying to not alert you that you were going to be the next pick. And there was probably a minute and a half on the clock to go, and then suddenly there was 10 cameras at the table. So you realised something was going to happen. Obviously the word had got out, and the players have to have their phones off because it gets tweeted out by Watch, who's one of the leading NBA analysts that talks about the drafts on Twitter. So he actually tweets it out a minute before it's announced live, which is it's a really funny. So basically the players have their phones off so they can't see that. And then the announcement, they come out, and Adam Silver comes out and says, with the number 6 pick, Oklahoma takes Josh Giddey. And again, it's a surreal moment. There's cameras everywhere. Josh goes to the stage, gets interviewed. Me and him go and do a live national broadcast interview. They take him out the back. He does all his promotional shots. We're back at the table, and obviously the first few picks in our tables are cleared out to go out the back with their son. So slowly each table's clearing out. We were fortunate. I just sort of thought, wow, at least we weren't the last one selected that night and sitting there all on our own. But an amazing night. I think we got out to have a feed at about 1 o'clock. So there was no food or drinks at the event because of the COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a 4 hours sitting there, starving, thirsty. But it was nice to get that steak, and that first beer just tasted beautiful.
Was there anything open with COVID at that? I mean, I know it's the States and things are open, but COVID.
New York can go all night, so we had no problem finding a nice steak place there at that time of night.
Even with COVID?
Yeah, even with COVID that night, yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, I know that New York City is the city that never sleeps, and I love New York.
And America was in a little bit of denial about COVID too at that stage.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, wow. So, we spoke about Josh, but how are you and Kim feeling?
Yeah, look, just amazed. Our lives are about to change. At that moment, his son's just been drafted on a multi, $20 to $30 million 4-year deal as a rookie NBA player. Every kid's dream is to get paid to play the sport they love, and I think that's one of the biggest incentives you see with sport in Australia. Through both male and female, is our sport's at high level, and the incentive there to be an elite sportsman in a number of different codes. Financially, you can set yourself up for life, and I think kids are seeing that pathway. Instead of wanting to be a doctor or a lawyer, they say, well, I want to be a sportsman. And it might be a shorter career, but it's definitely well worth it, and it's a fun journey for most of them that succeed.
So for the next few days, then, how are you? I don't know how. I'm struggling to even imagine it. How are you navigating yourself through it? You're in America, and you live in it. How are you with your son? I don't know. What does it look like?
Well, now the journey begins. What happens next? And Oklahoma flies us, in a private jet, the family. But we were all off to Oklahoma from New York. I think the next day they put us up in a hotel. Obviously, Josh is there to do the interviews with the other draftees, signs the contract officially, meets the people, and then we're basically out of there until he has to come back for training. So, it was a sort of a hit and run mission, so to speak.
What's your perspective on Andrew Gaze for anyone who is, my friends living in the UK and people listening from outside of Australia? What did Andrew Gaze do for the game here?
Well, I'll start by giving you a bit of a funny story. So, obviously playing with the Illawarra Hawks, and you hear about all this Andrew Gaze, and the kid's 17 and he's scoring 30 points, and and you haven't got a lot of media. You only really got the print media. There's no computers. We're talking in the middle of they're just coming in, so you haven't got the internet and things like that. So everyone in the other states, and it's a real Victoria versus New South Wales. So it's like, Andrew's only in the Australian side because his dad's the coach, and he's not that good. Clearly he's getting a run, and then you hear about the Victorian Basketball Association burning down. It's like, Lindsay set that on fire because he wanted to get rid of it. It's an insurance job, and it's unbelievable the rumours you hear and what you think. And it just, that was the world we were in. We didn't know. And then once I got down here, you were like, well, that's just bullshit. Andrew's an unbelievable player. He's in the Australian side because he's bloody damn good. And there's not a chance in the world Lindsay would have burnt down his stadium that he loves. And it was where his family lived. So you suddenly discover that, these rumours aren't true. This is a New South Wales, Victoria thing. And obviously these days, that rumour would last, 1 minute before people would be able to knock it down with what we've got with technology. But and then you come down, and not only do you find out how good of a player he is, and you find out how great people they are, both Andrew and Lindsay and the family, and what he'd done for basketball, what he was currently doing, and then what he's since done. And you couldn't have met a more dedicated person than Lindsay. And when you talk about people developing their sport, and obviously we had a hand up from Ken Watson, who was Lindsay's mentor, but to do to take basketball where Lindsay took it, to have his son as the marquee and the best player in Australia, and maybe the greatest ever player Australia's produced, was just amazing. And to be a part of that family and be a part of that team, and to witness it firsthand was just incredible for me. And I'm ever thankful for Lindsay for seeing something in me and bringing me to the Tigers, and found me a perfect role. The feeder position, obviously I would love to have been able to do a few more things, but our offense just suited me to a T. I knew where I was at. I knew my ability. I very rarely got ambition and ability mixed up. So hence that's why I didn't shoot a lot of 3-pointers, because I knew my limits. People do say I was 0 of 21 in 449 games, so I really shot one every couple of years, so to speak. And most of
the crowd went crazy when you did.
Sorry?
I bet the crowd went crazy when you did.
Well, a lot of those were the last second shots, lasted the quarter or the half or the end of the game. I probably really only had maybe 10 legitimate shots, and by the end of my career they were sort of giving me the ball saying, well, we need you to get a 3, and I had a couple that I thought were going in and unfortunately rimmed out, but I probably put up maybe 5 in the last year. So before that I really hadn't shot many, but it was just one of those things. I wasn't a great shooter, bad technique as a junior, just never got comfortable with it, unfortunately. And as I said, I had to develop into a role player, and I was a so-called defensive specialist and passing, and what better job of passing to some of those players. Australia's greatest player Andrew, passed it to Copeland, passed it to Bradkey, Simmons, Dave Colbert when he was there. I couldn't think of a better job of passing the ball to those superstars and trying to connect and help them be part of that team.
Yeah, no wonder Andrew Gaze was looking forward to playing with you, because he just wanted more points himself.
Well, that's it. He had someone who could pass and someone that wasn't going to take his shots, and I could also rebound the ball and get it back to him.
So if you could match yourself with somebody in the NBA for, because I'm going to have a lot of English former teammates and coaches and people in America listening to this. So for anyone who doesn't follow Australian basketball, could you match yourself to like maybe a nitty gritty player in the NBA that you would maybe connect with?
Yeah, I'd be a poor
like a Rodman
man's
sort of guy.
I'd be a very poor man's Draymond Green. I mean, most of those guys that you may equate over there can shoot the ball pretty well as well. That was one thing I didn't do great. So I would equate it with, let's say, modern day NBL players like a Dylan Boucher to a degree. I loved his game. He was probably played for the New Zealand Breakers. Mika Vakona, two New Zealand players that I would say I was very similar to. NBA, most of those guys can score, but any defensive role player, maybe a very, very, very poor man's Dyson Daniels. I mean, he does so many other things besides defence. He handles the ball, he shoots the ball extremely well. Things that I probably didn't do. I wasn't a great ball handler and wasn't a great shooter. So my
rebounded well?
Yeah, rebounded and really just supported and passed the ball reasonably well. So
you're a Dennis Rodman then, it sounds like.
Well, there you go. Well, Dennis Rodman here. Well, not so much modern, but yeah, maybe a very, very, very poor man's Dennis Rodman. That's probably, without the rebounds, without the hairstyles, with the same aggression.
You've got the hairstyles. I beg to differ on that one, actually. I'm going to pull a picture up. It's definitely the perfect time. You've definitely got the hairstyle. I was going to talk about your character in the NBA. Were you known for a bit of a joker around the league?
No, not really. Well, it was just that one year, and obviously being back home over summer, and as I explained in that film, all my mates had long hair, and I went back and I think I worked 3 months on the beach there as a professional lifeguard, and I just never had time for a haircut. I was that busy training and going out for my mates and working. And when I came back, it was actually quite long, so I had to wear a headband. So
that was the aftermath of this, wasn't it?
Yes. Well. No, the spikes was the aftermath of the headband. So
sorry.
And I had a red towel sitting around, so I just used to rip red strips off this old linen towel, and I'd have a couple of strips in my bag, because when they got wet and dried, I'd try and tighten them around the back of my head, and they would just snap off.
Yeah.
So I need a new one, and it was really bad towel. It was 2 inches thick one way and about a centimetre in another part of it, so it broke quite easily. So after a few games, I think I decided to get it cut, and Channel 10 was on to me and said, if you're going to get it cut, come into the studio and we'll give you some hairstyles. So I went in, Channel 10 said, yep, I'm going to get it cut. So they took me in, did a couple of hairstyles, and they left me with spikes, the shot you see.
That's great.
So I said, yep, that looks pretty good. I'll go with that for a while. And I had my mate set up a training. So I went to training, had all the spikes. The boys had a good laugh. I said, all right, I'm going to go get it cut. So I had my good mate Speed, one of my best mates at the time, and he had his clippers. So we went into the change room at North Melbourne when we were training, and he cut it and left the 3 spikes left. So he cut all the other spikes off, and right when I went out, Lindsay Gage just happened to be arriving at training. So it looked like it was set up for the cameras, and Lindsay saw me and, get out. And he was pretty good about it. He wasn't being angry. So I said, well, I better go back in and caught me mate before he packed up and said, you better take the next 3 off and bring me back into the 90s. And so we shaved all those off, and that was it. I went out and trained with the team. So I was back to number 1s like I usually had for my haircuts.
That's hilarious.
Mine was the long hair.
Thanks for joining me on this special Back to the Future journey. Remember, we're running this series all the way through until Friday, 2nd of January. So there are plenty of gems to listen to in the Back to the Future series. If you want to hear the full episode with today's guest, just hit the links in the show notes to check out the complete conversation. Soak up the inspiration, share it with someone who needs it, and let's keep leading our own way into the future together. Stay tuned for more stories and have an amazing holiday break.